we're going to do something a little bit different than maybe what you were expecting. We're going to talk more about the mindset of becoming a trader that actually generates a regular income. Okay. You won't see me showing a bunch of charts and a bunch of ways that you can make a bunch of money. Personally, I kind of think about trading as about 20% of what you need to know is the mechanics of trading, you know, the charts and the indicators and the trade setups and the things that that we all get very excited about doing to generate money. And that generally is about 10% of what you need to know to be a successful trader, or 20%. The other 80% is a very mental game. And this came to me after many years of struggling, the understanding of what it was that I was actually trying to accomplish was something very different than what I thought I was trying to do. And my approach was also not conducive to becoming a professional trader. Okay, so we're going to talk about that today. So you're going to ask yourself, and I'm going to ask you to kind of have an open mind here for those of you that are day trading and want to actually generate an income from day trading. How do you think you're approaching your trading? If you think about what you do every day and how you're trying to educate yourself, how you're trying to grow as a trader, are you approaching day trading as somebody who might be considered a trader, or are you approaching it as somebody who might be considered a trading hobbyist? You know, I spent a lot of years thinking I was a trader, a bad trader nonetheless, but a trader. And it wasn't until I was able to start making an income and then thinking back on how I got there that I realized that I was never really approaching trading the way most professional traders do. I was approaching it more like a hobby, more like something that was fun and interesting and exciting. So we're going to talk about that and see if maybe you're doing the same thing. Many of you know me, I've been around a long time. I spent 7 years in hindsight being a trading hobbyist, which meant I was a struggling trader. I've been a professional trader for over 9 years now. I've kind of redefined my approach to trading, and then I've shared that with a lot of people and helped them kind of redefine their approach to trading. We have a program that helps people, that other 80% that I was talking about a minute ago. We really try to help people understand that other 80% that it takes to be a professional trader, or somebody who at least can be consistent about generating an income. Okay, so I've ended up developing a trading system, indicators to help make the trading system more intuitive, and ultimately became a trading educator because I went through all the rough times and managed to come out the other side. And going through all the tough times, I tend to pick up a good bit of information, which is a lot of what I'm going to share with you today. So most of us are on a quest in our trading to gather information about trading, right? And the more information you have, the more fascinating trading seems. We all feel like trading is something that is this fascinating universe out there of data. And if we can quantify all of this data and boil it down into something, we really got something here. So this was me back when I was struggling as a trader, and ultimately learning that I wasn't doing the right stuff. I was a hobbyist, but I was constantly looking for more and more and more information. And the more I understood that information, the more I really felt like I was onto something, you know, that I really had my finger on what it was I needed to do. I was just not quite there. Okay, so generally speaking, the conventional wisdom is that we need more data. Okay, and that more data means going out and collecting information from whatever sources you can find online. You know, now with the internet, we have so many sources of data, so many ways to find information, so many people that are willing to provide information. We find that fascinating, and we'll kind of take that information and we'll start collecting this information and equating that information to knowledge. And that knowledge, you know, this information, we start to think that this knowledge is going to provide us more power to influence our ability to trade successfully. Okay, and then ultimately, with more data and information and knowledge and influence, we can finally get to mastery. But to do that, we've got to have more and more and more. Okay, generally we're looking for more and more and more because we feel like we're missing something, right? So if you believe that this all makes sense to you, then there's a real good chance that you're approaching trading more like a hobbyist. Okay, so you do more reading, you do more, watch more YouTube videos, you watch more trainings, you watch webinars, you go and read trading forums and believe that everybody that writes in trading forums are professional traders, because why would they write things if they weren't really good professional traders, right? Nobody would certainly lie in a trading forum or say things that they had no business saying. And I certainly spent a lot of time looking at trading forums and reading trading forums and asking questions of people and all of that. So this was another way for me to gather more and more and more information. I would go and download free indicators wherever I could find them. If I could find free indicators, a lot of times they're on these trading forums, and load them up on my charts and have more information. That's what I was looking for, more and more and more. And of course, my charts and my office started to look like this, very much like this, in fact. And I felt like I was really on to something. I had all of this stuff, and I see pictures like this on forums and other places thinking, well, this is what I need, because I need all of these pieces of information to make something happen. And that something is to place a profitable trade. So we have all of this conventional wisdom, which we find extremely interesting, right? With data about trading can be really interesting, and the information is fascinating, and the knowledge that we think we're gaining by reading all this stuff kind of motivates us to learn more, and we start to feel maybe that we're empowered, because now we're on the inside, because we're listening to people that have been floor traders, and we're listening to people that have been trading for 35 years, and we're listening to all these, you know, these people that are going to empower us to master the markets, which is the nirvana that we're looking for. Okay, so all of this is very conventional wisdom about how to go about approaching gathering information and using that information to trade successfully. Okay, and if this seems like what you've been doing, that's fine. Just understand that you're approaching trading as a hobbyist, because this is not what professional traders do. All right, now let me show you a little bit different approach, a more realistic approach. So I put up here in the top left, you can see the hobbyist. Okay, this is just the search for more and more and more. Okay, and I'll give it to you. More data equals more information. We'll start with that. Now, Maybe Albert Einstein said this, maybe he didn't, I don't know, but you hear that he did so often that you start to believe things after a while, right? But I couldn't agree with this more. The only source of knowledge is experience. So by gathering information, by gathering data, you're in fact not gathering knowledge, you're gathering stuff. Okay, the only way to use that stuff, or the only way for it to become knowledge, is through experience. So we're going to talk about how to approach as a trader. Okay, we're going to take all of that information and we're going to add experience. Now we have the potential for more knowledge. We're going to take that more knowledge and then we're going to add experience. Okay, and then we have the potential to influence. Then we're going to add experience. We're going to add the ability to execute, and then ultimately lead to mastery. Okay? Now, nobody wants to do this. Why does nobody want to do this? You know, the hobbyist stuff seems like a lot more fun. We all know that gathering the information and the data is interesting and fascinating. The knowledge is motivating, and it's empowering, and it's the nirvana that we're looking for. All of those things are in there, but we skip over the very time-consuming and tedious and slow process of gaining experience. That is not very interesting to people that are trying to, or they think they are trying to learn to become professional traders, or at least consistent traders that can consistently generate a profit. All right, so execution is skill building. All right, how do you build skills? You build skills with practice, right? So we have unrealistic expectation based on these conventional wisdoms, and what happens is that people start collecting data and looking to master trading, right? So not only are they approaching as a hobbyist, they're trying to take shortcuts. So I'm going to call all of you out and say, you're nothing but a hobbyist if you are not approaching trading the way professional traders do. Okay, and you may still not know what I'm talking about. I'm going to go over that with you. And I'm not saying, if you ultimately decide after I'm finished here that, yep, you're a hobbyist, that's okay. I'm not telling you that it's wrong to be a hobbyist. Okay, but I'm going to give you the opportunity to figure it out for yourself. Okay, so is this you? Are you a hobbyist? Do you spend a lot of time reading and writing in forums? I promise you, those of us that trade for a living, that generate an income from trading, we do not have the time or inclination to be giving advice to people, random people, by posting things in trading forums. It sounds like those people have a lot of very good and valuable information, and I read them for years. I couldn't wait to read the next post online and find the next topic and look for things that might help me. Okay, come to find out, I've learned an awful lot about the people that read and write in trading forums, and they don't always necessarily have your best interest at heart. They have their best interest at heart. Okay, do you end up searching for YouTube videos, spending a lot of time watching videos on YouTube about trading? Do you attend lots of webinars? You don't even know why you're attending. You're thinking that potentially it's to gather more information. Do you read books on trading and trading psychology? Have you been buying and watching and downloading videos and DVDs Free indicators, that was my thing. Man, I had hundreds of free indicators, and I love to add indicators to charts and watch what the indicators do and how they can help me to crystal ball what the markets are going to do. And if it had 1% value to me, it ended up going on a chart somewhere on some monitor somehow. I put it up there because it has value. You try to create your own trading system because, why do we do this? Because you've started out trading like a babe in the woods. You didn't know anything about it. And then you start learning some of these things and you start going to these forums and you start going, and maybe you've gone and you bought a trading system from a company and you put in a little bit of effort into it, but you were really hoping the trading system was going to do the work for you. And then you start saying, well, that didn't work and this didn't work and that didn't work, but I can see a lot of value in all of this stuff that I have. So I'm going to create my own trading system. Okay, there's no, these other ones just aren't working. So I think I can create my own. Oh, and then the back testing starts, right? You start doing all kinds of back testing. And of course you build this trading system by watching static charts and looking at static charts and going, I see this bar here went, and this bar went here, and this bar went here, and then it went, and then we have these lines, and it went across this line, and then it broke across this line, and when that happens, it's going to go across this other line, because, oh, look there. So you do a lot, you spend a lot of time looking at static charts to build this trading system that looks perfect, unbelievably perfect, until you actually turn it on and try to trade it. So then you do that and you end up taking a lot of stops. You end up starting and stopping a lot. You jump from system to system. You spend a lot of time after learning how to trade. You spend a lot of time looking for an auto trader because now you want to remove the accountability from yourself and put it on a computer because you are unable to do it yourself. For whatever reason, you want an auto trader to do it because you want to just be able to turn it on and then go play golf and come home and you've made a couple $1,000s every day, right? So you build your own trading system and you spend and then you take some losses on it, right? I said you build this trading system and then you go and you start trying to trade it and you take some losses. Oh, you hate losses. Oh, you don't want to take losses. Losses hurt. So you spend a lot of time trying to filter out trading losses so you don't have to feel that pain, right? You spend a lot of time filtering out, trying to find ways to filter out losing trades. You've read in a trading forum somewhere and you've heard moderators say, and you've heard on YouTube videos, and anytime you've ever gotten into trading psychology, you will hear you've got to trade without emotion. You will hear that you've got to trade like a machine. You've got to just follow the rules. And you spend time trying to trade without emotion, but you always fail. Generally, you don't have really time to do the hard work of trading. You have a life to live. You have a job. You have a family. The hard work of trading is either something that you just don't have time to do or you don't even know how to do it. You think the hard work of trading is sitting and reading on forums, is trying to develop your own trading system, is trying to find an auto trader, is watching videos, attending webinars. This is what you believe is the hard work. And you generally want to make a lot of money as fast as possible, okay? You're fascinated by trading. Oh, it's exciting. oh, it's so interesting, and look at all these numbers, and look at all this data. Yet you train like like you're a weekend warrior, right? Like those of you that just want to go out and play softball on the weekends, and you don't really practice during the week and train to get stronger and faster and more adept at catching and throwing. You don't practice and train that during the week and then show up on the weekend to be very competitive. You don't want to do all that mess. You just want to go play softball. You want to have the fun of playing softball. Now, is this how you're approaching trading? You don't have time to do most of the things that other hobbyists do. You have a strict set of rules. You practice your trading regularly, not during live trading sessions. You study price action. You study moving charts, not static charts. There is so much information. You know how you've developed this trading system that you've worked on forever on a static chart, and then you try to apply it to an active live chart, and it doesn't work. But you can't figure out why, because you're missing a lot of very important information. You manage your risks. You as a true professional trader, you don't attempt to manage your emotions because you don't need to. Your emotions are generated by fear. And when you have confidence in what you're doing, and you understand that what you're doing has wins and losses, and that not every trade is going to be a winner, and that you're in it for the long haul, those emotions go away. So I make no attempt to manage emotions. I this is huge. My experience in what I do in the small niche type of trading. I trade futures, by the way, and we trade a very fast time frame. My faith in my experience to do that is much higher than on the amount of information I've collected about trading. Okay, and my trading is a daily routine. And when I say trading, the actual me sitting in front of live charts and trading domes is a small part of my trading day. I stop trading, live trading, and then I have a routine that I go through every single day. And I approach trading like a professional. When I say professional, think about professional athletes and how they and their routines, okay? And what they have. They don't just show up on game day. They have that game day, the amount of effort that they put into their profession, only maybe 10% of it is actually competing. The other 90% is the conditioning, the analysis, the preparation, all of those other things that have to be done on a regular basis. Okay, you've established regular practice sessions. You expect to lose trades regularly, and it doesn't bother you. Your focus is on consistency, not dollars. If you're still thinking about money while you're trading, then you're probably a hobbyist. Trading is not about money. Money is the net result of doing a good job. Okay? But for most of us, we spend way too much time thinking about money. In fact, we have goals. Oh, I'm gonna try to make $200 a day. You have financial goals, and so if you don't reach a financial goal, you're failed. Okay, my focus is on consistently executing my trade plan. To me, the markets are just a means to an end. They pay my bills, and it's the most boring thing I do all day long. And I already brought up, I train like a professional athlete trains. You know, I do conditioning. I work on my execution. I work on my trade management. I do my trade analysis from every trade I took earlier that day. And I look at it and I say, what did I do right? What did I do wrong? What could I do better? And what do I need to do to get better at that? All right, so after hearing all of this, if you're keeping an open mind, I think some of you may have been listening to this and say, screw him, I'm out of here. I'm not a hobbyist. I'm a trader. I'm just not having much luck. But maybe you've looked at this and said, you know what? I'm a hobbyist. And you like being a hobbyist. That's fine. Embrace it. Have fun with it. You know, understand that that's what you're doing. You know, there are a lot of people that like to play video games. They're not playing video games to, you know, they're computer games to make a lot of money. Although there are some that do, that make a lot of money playing video games. Most people play video games online because it's fun and they enjoy it. They have no expectations to be a professional video game player. So all I'm saying is, if you see on that hobbyist list, if you see yourself and you like it, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you don't like it and you want to change and try to be a trader, you've got to create some new habits. You've got to commit to doing the hard work, which is the practice and the study and the analysis. You've got to become accountable for your trade decisions. You've got to become experienced, which is like conditioning. You know, they have the saying, when a man with experience and a man with money meet, the man with the experience ends up with the money, and the man with the money ends up with the experience. You realize that when you're trading, you're going up against other people, right? It's a zero-sum game. For every winner, there's a loser. You are competing. The one with the most experience is going to win more times than not. Relentlessly pursue to better your execution every day. Create and follow rules. Define your personal risk tolerance. Am I an aggressive trader? Am I a conservative trader? Am I somewhat in between? You need to set achievable goals, and you need to narrow your focus and quit trying to do everything that you've learned about. I think about all of the things out there for measuring things that are happening in the market. This is where all this data that we get and that's coming into the market. And so we take every piece of data and we analyze that data and we combine that data with other things, and then we try to create some very special trading system or whatever. I like to think of this as all of this stuff, all of this information that you've been collecting as ingredients in a kitchen. Okay, so yes, ingredients are a good thing. Each and every one of them have a lot of value for their special use, not for everything. You know, I'm not gonna put pepper in my pancakes. Those are the only two things I could think of off the top of my head. But you know, they both the ingredients have very specific things that they're good at and very specific things that they're not good at. So if you try to combine every ingredient that you have in your kitchen, you're going to end up with a nasty mess. This is what most of us have done with trading. We find pieces of information that has value, but we don't know exactly what to do with it. Okay, so let's say that you say, I want to be a trader, not a hobbyist. How do I do it? Okay, well, first thing I have to assume is that you have a trading system that has an edge that is an undeniable edge that you can trade regularly, or at least be shown that people can trade regularly every day that has an edge. So you have to know you found that. Now that's only part of the system, right? That's only part of becoming a good trader, is the trading system. You still have work to do. And if you haven't found a trading system that you know has a demonstrable edge, what the heck are you doing trading? Why are you putting money in the markets when you don't really believe or know with a certainty that that trading system has an edge? I find that my track record with that was so amazing in hindsight, of course, in hindsight, because I traded using an awful lot of hope, right? So I've changed it, and you got to have something that's so stupid simple, and prove to yourself that you can be successful. So we've got this trading system it's so stupid simple. It's basically you're looking for these conditions that exist, and if any one of these conditions doesn't exist, then you stop and you don't trade. If you get a yes, the condition exists, you sit and you wait for the next condition to exist, and you get a yes, and then the next one exists, and you get a yes, and then you go, okay, I'm going to trade it. No more of these shades of gray. No more of waiting to cross a line and then cross back across another line, and all these squiggly things and static charts scrolling around. It's a simple, real simple step by step, and we're waiting for something that happens in the markets that gets everybody's attention. And what we're looking for is a big move. Okay? We're looking for a big move that gets everybody's attention because it creates opportunities. But here's the cool part. This big move, like you see on this bar here, it creates opportunities, but it creates opportunities for other traders. See, and then we're going to take advantage of them. So we're just waiting for those opportunities to present themselves to these other traders, and then we're going to capitalize on what they do when they take advantage of the opportunity. So what are these opportunities for these other traders? So we've got this big bar here, right? We've got a nice steep climb, and those traders that were short, they were hanging tight, okay, you know, they were kind of hanging in there right around in here, trying to decide, oh, what should I do? What should I do? My trading system says I should stay in, even though it's going against me. My rule says stay in. And then suddenly price goes whammo. What happens? People panic. They either get stopped out or they jump out to minimize their losses. Okay? Well, you don't just get out of a trade. You have to sell that trade, right? And so there has to be somebody willing to buy it. Now, on the other side of that are people who were long. They get this big push, and what a great opportunity to take profits, right? Because they also know what happens right after this. There's something that happens after these big pushes. Okay? So what are we looking for? What we're looking for and anticipating what a crowd is going to do immediately after a sudden and unexpected dramatic event. And this is an awesome illustration of that. But we're going to apply this to trading. So you look at this as a broken bat flying at a bunch of people's heads. They were all of them having different thoughts and enjoying the day and thinking about the weather and thinking about the baseball game, thinking about getting a beer, thinking about how I got to go to the bathroom, thinking about all these different combinations of things. And suddenly, bam, they're all thinking of the same thing at once. A sudden and unexpected event caused everybody to stop thinking about what they're doing and react to a danger or react to the opportunity to protect themselves. You know, they're not able to think about many other things than I got to protect myself here. So this is the event that causes the opportunity for this group of people. The opportunity is to protect themselves. Now, what I'm saying is I know what they're going to do after this. This isn't a video. This is a still picture, but I know exactly what happened after this. If nobody was hurt severely, even if they were, I know that after that, the danger passes. I know exactly what happens next. And that is that everybody's hands will go down. That's all I need to know. That's my edge. Okay, what they're doing 5 minutes from now, 10 minutes from now, an hour from now, I don't have a clue. But I know based on that event exactly what's going to happen next. All right, so there's that event right there. We got a real strong push. All right, this is our trading system. This is bunt trading. We got a real strong momentum. Prices dropping hard and fast. You can see that by the dark colored bars that are getting lighter. We have a lot of price changing going on inside of it, of these bars. We have an oversold condition. That's the outline on the bars. We have the potential for exhaustion, and what we're doing is we're reading the volume inside of each bar and only interested in particular types of volume to anticipate that price has gone as far as it's going to go. Once we have that, then we want to add support and resistance as a defensive measure so that behind us we have a major line of support in case price goes against us. So we don't just jump into trades we think we're going to win, but we jump into trades that if they don't go in our favor initially, there's a safety net there to help us. So we add support and resistance. Then we add divergence, which for us means that price may be setting a series of lower lows, but momentum has shifted and it's creating a series of higher lows. We're using a histogram, but we don't put the histogram on the chart anymore. We just tell you when it's happening. So what happens is when momentum and price diverge, price will attempt to catch up with momentum. Very important. So you're seeing a confluence of indicators all right down here at the bottom. And then all we need is that trigger. What we're doing is we're reading the order, the rate of orders being processed through the market, not orders. I keep saying that because it's a bad habit. But because an order is something that hasn't been filled yet. An order is something that you ask for and you're waiting for somebody to buy it or sell it, okay? So this is sales going through the actual market, things that have actually been processed. And if they go through so fast that it's highly unlikely retail traders can trade that fast, then we know that it's a manipulation. It's a sudden and unexpected event, okay? Now, I could show you a bunch of static charts and I could scroll around, I could show you where indicators are and I could show you what we did and you would believe it and you would love it and you would think, oh, this is awesome. But the fact of the matter is you can't really get a good handle on what's really going on. So go to this link right here. I'm not sure if somebody can, if that's able to be put in. So I'll pause here a little bit if you want to write it down. We shortened it. This is our YouTube channel where you can go and actually watch what we do in the trade room. Watch a trade set up. The moderator, most of the time it's me, sometimes it's Connor or Praveen, will mention, okay, I'm watching this particular setup. All right, and then you can see them talking about the setup on the video. The setup started here. So we'll see a confluence of events happening. And during this bar, I'm going to say something like, if the next bar opens with a divergence signal, which is this lightning bolt, I'm going to short it. And so we just sit quietly. This bar opens, had a divergence signal. I shorted it. I said, okay, I'm short. And then price drops, hopefully. We get our little win right here. And that's it. And then we're done. Now, we will, if you're new and you want some explanation of what we did, I'm happy to explain it, but we also provide you with a whole bunch of information. Our traders will post in the trade room their wins and losses. We ask them to please, if you're going to post wins, please post your losses also. We all have gotten to know each other pretty well, so we know what kind of trades each person is going to take. There's between 50 and 70 people in the trade room every day. And not everybody posts their trades, but we ask, if you're going to post trades, post your wins and your losses, okay? And of course, the moderators, you know, we tell you we're in a trade before the trade is over, so, you know, right when we get in it. So we take losses right along with everybody else. If you want more information about what we do and you'd like to at least hear from other people, we do ask these, you know, we have a whole bunch of, a whole list of videos that we've asked people to please give us their impressions on what they do, what they think of bunt trading. You know, we have a whole list of references if you want to talk to people. Certainly, again, and this goes right along with what we were talking about, and that is that people believe that the most efficient way to learn about a trade room or a system or a moderator or an indicator is to go sit in the trade room. That is a way. It is actually one of the least efficient ways. We're all about efficiency here. We want everything to be very efficient. We spend a lot of time making things efficient. I do that for myself, and then I provide it to other people because I want to make the most use of my time, the best use of my time. So we have a very efficient way for you to learn everything you need to know about us to see if what we do makes sense to you. If you want to come hang out in the trade room, you can. It's about 17 hours. 90% of it is sitting and waiting for a trade setup, okay? And we only take the best ones. Some days we get 10 trade setups. Some days we get 1 or none or whatever. So it's kind of a coin toss. Or we can provide you with all this other information. So we're all about efficiencies, but we're not looking to tell you you can't come in our trade room and check it out. We have the program. Now, I talked about a whole lot of stuff that we do as far as practicing. And practicing like a professional. We have the Fast Forward program that is designed to teach you how to practice your trading, and we provide all the tools for you to do that. The VIP program also includes lifetime in the trade room, all the indicators that we have in the trade room, plus all the indicators that we're going to ever have in the future in the trade room. Whenever we develop a new indicator or something to help people, all of our VIPs get all that for free. So it's kind of a one and done thing. We do have some other programs that aren't included in VIP, but anything that's in the trade room, you get it for free. So we've got a special going on that. We had an event on Tuesday, and we made this offer to everybody on Tuesday that we were going to do $4,500 for our VIP program. And if you're one of the first 5, it was $42.45. That's down to 2 now. So we've got 2 of those left, and you'll see the code here. I think somebody had an issue with the code, but I think we got it fixed. So it's it is case sensitive. So make sure you type it in the right way. We also have a bundle that's just the indicators, and then we'll give you a free month in the room to kind of get used to it. That is, now we had 2 people do that on Tuesday, and so we have now the first 3 that do that. We still have that available. So let's see. So you end up with a month in the room. You don't get the fast forward program with it. You don't get our group mentoring that I told you, that the other 80%. It was more of the kind of stuff that I talked to you about today, you know, about how you're approaching trading and kind of get you thinking about your trading a little bit. We had a session yesterday. It was about your relationship with money. You know, how is your relationship with money? Mine was so pitiful. Mine was horrible. I had a terrible relationship with money, and all I ever thought about was money, which created so much problem for me with decision making and stuff. And that was part of our what we call them aha sessions. Some of the things that I learned going through the process of transitioning from a professional trader from a struggling hobbyist to being able to generate a regular income from trading. Okay, so please let us know if there's anything you can do, we can do to help you. You've noticed at the bottom of the slides, you've got Lisa's email address. Contact Lisa if you've got any questions. This is the page you can go to if you want to take advantage of these specials. Now, if you get to and you enter the code and you hit enter and it says 4,500, that means these other 2 got taken before you. If you have an issue with the process, contact Lisa. She can help you out. A lot of people, in fact, I think most of these people on Tuesday did the PayPal thing, which is great because it's 6 months. You don't have to worry about anything for 6 months. Gives you time to kind of get up to speed. And with the VIP, you've got all of that practice that you can be doing, all of that experience that I talked about before. You take the information that we're going to give you, the indicators that we're going to give you, you know, the ingredients, turn that into knowledge. And you're going to do that by using our fast forward program. You've got to become dedicated or not, you know, stay being a hobbyist if you enjoy trading for the sake of the excitement of it, the thrill, being interested in it. Keep doing it that way. Just adjust your expectations.